Welcome to another episode of the Zebra Influencer Series. I'm your host, Scott Reyes. I am the Senior Manager of Alliances and ISVs at Zebra Technologies. And on today's episode, we have the honor of having one of the leading partnerships at a company called Pico MES, and the individual is managing the partnerships at Pico. And Pico is a manufacturing software company that empowers manufacturers to control their processes by eliminating assembly mistakes, increasing efficiencies, and delivering parts traceability. Our honored guest happens to be named 2021 Louisville Business First 40 Under 40 class. And let's bring Torrence to the show. Hey, Torrence, how are you?
Hey, Scott, doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, excellent to see you again. Torrence, for the audience, which is our channel partners and our customers, could you tell them a little bit more about maybe your role at Pico and what Pico is?
Yeah, absolutely. So my role at Pico is essentially building relationships with other companies in the manufacturing space to provide solutions to our customers. So just figuring out how we're able to mutually work together to be able to win business within our manufacturing customers. And then Pico as a whole, when you talk about a manufacturing execution system, if you were to ask, 10 different people, what does a manufacturing execution system mean to them? You may get 10 different answers. So, really the way that I like to discuss it or tell people really what it is and how we operate is we take the tools that we connect to work instructions. So we'll digitize the company's work instructions, connect them to the physical tools they have within the plant. And from there, we like to say that those work instructions are your what to do engine. And by connecting to those tools, they're telling you what actually happened. So when you align those two, that's where you're able to say, okay, well, here's some real-time error proofing, being able to give full part traceability, data collection in one place, real-time cycle time tracking, and the whole overall goal here is really to be able to increase efficiency and eliminate mistakes.
Hey, Torrence, thank you for that answer. A lot of our organization also uses MES in a lot of PowerPoints and presentations, and a lot of different people have a lot of different answers for what a manufacturing execution system is. Could we drive down a little bit for the audience as to the vertical or sub-verticals, maybe like a use case, what type of customer would use a manufacturing execution system?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are 100% in obviously manufacturing, but within manufacturing, you're talking automotive, which is really our biggest market within manufacturing. Then you're looking at like electronics and medical, anything where you're worried about having traceability, wanting to be able to take a serial number or a VIN number or anything like that, and being able to know all of the information about what happened with that part throughout your facility.
Excellent. And maybe you share with the audience also maybe a success story around one of those customers using within the medical industry, automotive.
Yeah, absolutely. So, really the automotive industry, the EV industry specifically is one that we've had a lot of success in. And then, when we talk about, what our ideal customer is, we actually like to work with small and medium-sized manufacturers. And when you talk about why Pico even came around, it's because we have this idea of trying to help American manufacturing while also being able to help what we call manufacturing equity. For so long, when you talk about an MES or being able to have the ability to increase your efficiencies, have access to all of these different tools, those larger OEMs are the ones who've been able to spend the millions of dollars to be able to create their own, as well as to be able to continually to update it and manipulate it and things like that. And so for so long, our small and medium-sized manufacturers have just kind of been left in the dust a little bit, working off of paperwork instructions, not being able to tell their larger OEMs that they are supplying into, why a bolt couldn't be torqued, and making sure that that was actually going to be a step in the process that was going to continue to be able to be performed, and being able to make sure that there was no fault forwarding and making sure that these defects weren't going to continue to be able to happen. So, when we talk about working with small and medium-sized manufacturers, we've created a product that allows them to be able to, one, afford it, and two, be able to take a crawl, walk, run approach to being able to really embrace what we call Industry 4.0 and being able to leverage data to be able to reach the goals that you have for your plant. So it's a long-winded way of getting to the customer that I wanted to highlight here is one that is in the automotive industry, is a small to medium-sized manufacturer that was on paperwork instructions and does a lot of assembly. The issue that they were having is that they couldn't tell whether or not the torques that were on the bottom of a drive shaft were actually taken care of, actually torqued. And so, we were able to provide Pico as a solution to that and give them the confidence that the parts that they were actually putting on the road that people were going to be driving in were going to be safe, and that they had the data to be able to back up that those torques were performed and that everything, including their quality inspections, were handled and taken care of accordingly.
Torrence, thank you for the answer. Really appreciate it. As far as quality goes, it's definitely something that we look for in all of our automotive industries, right? So, what do you think? We talked a little bit about the SMB space. Where do you think the manufacturing industry is going to go from a futures perspective?
Yeah, when you talk about the manufacturing industry today and where it's headed, I really believe that U.S. manufacturing is at an inflection point, especially with all of the federal investment and domestic manufacturing having a hopeful future here. We see that manifested in the new construction of factories to support, emerging industries and energy production, which is creating high-paying jobs for local workers. Investing in tech early on was only going to help these factories be more productive. And that's what we've witnessed firsthand with a lot of our battery and EV customers as well. And, I mentioned, specifically working with small and medium-sized manufacturers. It really is the heart of what Pico does. And we really believe that, investing in these small and medium-sized manufacturers, which actually make up over 54% of American manufacturing, is really the future. And being able to make sure that they're not able to just survive in the future, but making sure that they're able to thrive and continue to compete globally.
Wow, that's excellent. That's excellent. That's an excellent mission, Torrance. And I know you're now recently being ingrained into our entire Zebra ecosystem. You've joined us in a couple of events in Zebra on locations. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do from a partnership perspective? I know you lead that team at Pico.
Yeah, so from a partnership perspective, what we've been able to do is try to add value to the hardware that our partners are putting into manufacturing customers. So the goal there is to be able to allow our hardware partners to be able to differentiate themselves from their competition by being able to partner with Pico and being able to add a full plant solution so that that plant is able to then reach the goals that they have, even outside of that hardware tool that they will have. The second portion of our partnership program is being able to, again, help those customers or help our partners sell more tools. MES tends to be a very sticky solution, one that our SMBs will start out with a pretty small deployment, maybe with only 2 to 3 different workstations. And we're talking about Zebra. Every one of our partners is utilizing a Zebra barcode scanner, utilizing tablets and printers and things like that. And so it may just start out with 2 tools here or 2 tools there, but usually our customers, as we scale across their plant, within that first year or so, we'll see them 3 to 4x. And so then our partners will get a call from the customer saying, with 8 months down the road, hey, we actually now need 10 more printers and we need 10 more barcode scanners and 10 more tablets. And that's something they're able to do without, having to provide anything else for that customer. We get to act as an arm of their sales team and really be able to push those dollars and that value to our partners. The third piece there is we also offer a 30-day trial of Pico. And the goal there is really be able to allow our customers to be able to see the value rather than just hear about it and talk about it. Because once they experience it, that's where the real power is. And while we do that, we then get our hardware partners we are able to get those tools in the hands of those customers as well. And very often, once they do become Pico customers, it's those tools that they had in their hands that they end up purchasing after the trial.
Oh, that's awesome, Torrence. I love the 30-day trial. Gives the customers that opportunity to try the solution. It also helps from a partnership perspective that they can help position a 30-day trial in front of their customers. And to your point, kind of do a land and expand conversation with the customer as they position new tools and maybe even new Zebra devices inside a customer. As they continue their growth path in technology, they're always going to call that partner for expanded tools and utilization. And now maybe you could tell us a little bit more how a partner would get hold of you if they wanted to, work with you and do more business and become part of your partner organization.
Yeah, so if you wanted to get in touch with me or get in touch with Pico, the best way to do it is to identify customers that you think might be able to benefit from Pico. If they're on paper work instructions, if they're doing manual assembly, and looking to be able to increase efficiency and eliminate mistakes. And then you can go through our website, or you can actually email me at torrence@picomes.com, and our website is picomes.com. Another thing to really hammer on there is the fact that when you do talk about key differentiators, the reason that people end up going with Pico is really because of our speed to be able to deploy. When people talk about manufacturing software, typically they think it's incredibly expensive. They also think that it's incredibly complicated, and we're really shattering the market when it comes to that. When we talk about pricing, we're incredibly affordable, and then when we're talking about being a light lift, we're incredibly light and incredibly easy to use. Our goal is really just to be a resource for our customers, rather than adding a to be another headache or anything else like that for them. So you can connect with me via email or via the website, but we are looking to add partners weekly at this point.
Excellent, Torrence. I really appreciate that. And yeah, so now we're coming up towards the end of the episode. I wanted to ask you if there's anything that you want to leave the audience with before we come to the end.
Yeah, really the partnership that we've been able to work with here at Zebra is one that we are, looking forward to being able to, reap a lot of rewards and a lot of benefits from here down the road. Being able to get more of Zebra's tools into the hands of our customers, because we know, how reliable they are and how much our customers have actually enjoyed them as well. And again, when you talk about a manufacturing execution system, we are the best way to be able to drive more hardware into customers' hands. And so, as we build out this partner network, we are looking to be able to, again, push hardware to our partners, because we don't sell any. So we need to make sure that we know who our partners are in every state, as well as every city, because those where our partners are as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Torrence. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, so in our realm, we would consider you guys a pure play ISV. Obviously, you're not reselling via our channel. You work well within our ecosystem as an alliance or an ISV. And our channel partners who are probably listening to this, part of the audience, reach out to Torrence and Pico MES. And I'd like to thank the audience and everyone who's been listening for staying on for so long. And Torrence, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge around manufacturing execution systems and what you and what Pico are doing in the SMB market for digital transformations in manufacturing. Thank you.